So, in the previous module what we did was set up all the things that are required for implementing an MPC or a DMC algorithm. This module we are actually going to do the coding and the implementation. So, this is the 5th module. Okay. So, just to recall, the components of MPC is a dynamic process model and the state, which is the state which is stored in the memory. Then we talked about the multi-step prediction equation, which and the multi-step prediction variable we call that as xp k plus 1. Okay. The objectives we talked about was quadratic objectives plus linear constraints. Okay. The optimization solver that we are going to use is QP. In MATLAB it is QuadProg, and we talked about the requirements with respect to the optimization solver. State update scheme is something that we have talked about much earlier, that was in module 2 itself is what we have talked about. What that means is given y tilde k and delta uk or uk, whatever the case may be, how can you go to y tilde k plus 1. Okay. That is the state update scheme. Okay. So, let us now talk about the details of these various components, and then we will take up an example. Okay. So, we have this input uk, output yk plus 1, okay, and the state is the capital Y tilde k, which basically is the prediction y0 k plus 1, y0 k y0 k, y1 k, y2 k up to yn minus 1 k. Okay, that is the definition of our state. Okay. We have not yet talked about disturbances. We are going to talk about disturbances as well in this particular module. Okay. Okay. At each time step you measure what the outputs are, you know what your inputs are, you will use the model in order to do the state update. Once you do the state update, you are going to compare what is the value of your output with the actual plant output. Okay. So, as you see that this is a plant model, and then your MPC itself has a model. Now, that model may be the same as plant model as we will do in today's example, or it might be different. The plant model might be a nonlinear model or might have certain uncertainties and all that associated with it, whereas the model is something that the MPC as well as the observer is going to use. Okay. So, that is the distinction, and if model equal to plant, that is the case we are going to cover today, or if model is not equal to plant, then we will call that as model plant mismatch. Okay. That is the case you are going to do in your assignment 4. Okay. So, you take the measurements yk plus 1 and you update the state and you get your y tilde k plus 1. Okay. That is the idea that the observer does. You have a quadratic objective function, you have a linear model, and you have constraints of various nature. The objective function is going to be a quadratic one. We talked about that in the previous class. Your model is a finite step response model or state space model, and you have your constraints of the nature capital C delta k less than equal to small c. Okay. That is the type of constraints that you are going to have. Okay. And you want to solve the problem subject to all these conditions. Okay. So, implementations, 5 steps that we talked about, I am going to go over them step by step. First step that you are going to do is you are going to set up the problem. Okay. For the most part, setting up the problem, this course it will all be given to you specifics on what you need to do. For example, this is the plant model, this is the model, this is the value of m, this is value of p, this is value of q, this is value of r, etc., etc. M is control horizon, p is prediction horizon, q is output weights, r are input weights. Okay, all of those are going to be given to you. What is the set points, what are the disturbances, what are the constraints, all of those would be given to you. Okay. Now, what is the definition of state? For us, the definition of state, as I said in the previous slide, is y tilde k. Okay. Most common initialization is that you start at origin. Okay, that is not the only initialization. You may say that I am going to start at under some conditions and you want to go to origin. That is a regulatory control problem. The servo control problem is you are at the origin and you want to go somewhere else. Disturbance rejection control problem would be there is a disturbance that comes in and you want to stay at origin or bring the system from somewhere to origin or from somewhere to the set point. All of those control problems might be variations of each other. Typically, what should be the initial condition that you start your problem with will also be given to you. Okay. Okay. And what we are saying is that in this particular example that we are talking about, what we are saying is we are going to start at origin and we are going to assume that inputs in the past have basically been 0. There has not been any input moves that have been implemented in the past. Okay. So, that is the thing that we are going to assume at the initialization state. Next, and again these numbers that you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is basically relating to those numbers that you saw on 2 slides previously. Okay. This is the multi-step prediction equation. This is the prediction equation that we have talked about in the previous module. What I have not talked about is measured disturbances and unmeasured disturbances. Okay. So, you in your undergrad courses you might have said that you have your U, you have your GP, this is the most generic block diagram of a process that you might have looked at in your undergraduate. Okay. Oftentimes we only discuss about this in the initial stages of discussion and after that we only talk about GP, but this is what this is. U is measured disturbance, D is U is inputs, manipulated inputs, D is measured disturbance and W is what is known as load. Okay. Now, load could be unmeasured disturbances, load could be things that you use in order to catch model plant mismatch, anything and everything that is not measured and modeled, we capture it through the load disturbance. Okay. And that is the common structure. This is not specific to MPC or anything like that. This is a common control structure that is common across any feed forward feedback or feedback feed forward control systems. Okay. I will erase all of this. Okay. And this is how your big S looks like, which is it is an NY times P cross Nu times M matrix. Okay. And your delta Um is going to be Nu times M vector. Okay. We have done that already. Okay. Your M y tilde k basically is an upward shift operator, upward shift by of just P elements, not of all N elements. Okay. We have done that already. We have not yet done the measured disturbance and load disturbance. Okay. Measured disturbance works in almost the same way as your manipulated input, and load disturbance is just an additive disturbance. What I mean by that is this is the measured disturbance. Okay. Now, input, what we are saying is we have an input at k, we have an input at k plus 1, we have an input at k plus 2, so on and so forth. Okay. Load, we cannot talk about it in that manner. What we will say is that whatever load we are predicting in the next step, we are predicting that step and then it remains constant. That is what we will do with respect to load disturbance. That is why this basically has only this particular part. Okay. Because you have delta uk plus 1, delta uk plus 2, delta uk plus 3, that is why you have multiple columns over here. Because you only have delta dk, you do not have delta dk plus 1, k plus 2, k plus 3, that is why it is only one single column. Okay. Let us say you know that your disturbance is a ramp type disturbance, okay, uncommon, but it is possible. Okay. Then what you will have is the structure that you see similar to SU, but you will say delta dk plus 1 equal to delta dk, delta dk plus 2 equal to delta dk, delta dk plus 3 equal to delta dk. Okay. Do not worry about the last 15 seconds of my statement. I have only said this for sake of completion. Most common is what I have shown over here. Okay. I have only said the other things mainly to highlight the fact that you are not restricted by this definition itself. There are other definitions possible, but unless you have a very strong reasons to veer away from this definition, do not. And then you have the effect of model plant mismatch or modeling errors or unmeasured disturbances. E is error between plant and model, okay, which is given by this. Y plant is nothing but the y that is actually measured from the system, okay, and y0k is nothing but the first ny elements of your y tilde state, and you are basically adding the error as a bias. So, if you remember from 3 weeks back the receding horizon example that I showed you that this is going to be the prediction and the actual system is slightly different and you are just moving the entire prediction by a constant amount, if you remember that. That is exactly what we are doing over here using these blue guys. Okay. Today's lecture we are not going to consider the red and the blue part, we are only going to consider the black part. Your assignment 4, there are 2 questions. The first question is where you are going to consider the red part and the second question is where you are going to consider the blue part. Okay. Next, objective function. Again we have covered the objective function in the previous lecture. It is a quadratic objective function in this form and you will be able to rewrite it, and when you rewrite it, now these are the definitions. This is the definition of your yp, this is your r. There was a question, does r have to be a constant value? No, it does not have to be a constant value, it can be anything that you choose. Most common is a constant value. Okay. Your gamma y, this there should be a 0 over here, okay, is your Q matrices arranged only along the diagonal, all the off diagonal elements are all zeros. Same thing with gamma u as well. And then constraints, we also talked about the constraints. Okay. This is just, this guy is nothing but identity which is m multiplied by nu cross m multiplied by nu. Okay. And for the u less than max and u less than between u max and u min type of a constraints, this is what we derived. We have derived this in the previous class. Okay. And the slides I will upload it today, so you will have these slides as well. So, now we come to the QP solving. For QP solving, you require Hessian, you require gradient which is for the objective function, and you require stuff for your constraints. Okay. Your objective function, the Hessian you can pre-compute, that is given by this, again we had derived that earlier, and this is what your gradient will be. As I said, today our gradient is only going to cover this component, okay, and this component of course. The red and the blue part we are not going to cover in today's lecture, that is a part of your assignment, okay, and these are the constraints. Okay. This is nothing but what I had written over here. This identity is MNU times MNU identity, which is exactly what I have written over here. Its I is M multiplied by NU cross M multiplied by NU identity, and this is your big IM matrix that you see over here. Okay. The implementation steps, which we are going to do in MATLAB in a minute, set up the problem, initialize variables, pre-compute all the matrices, and at each step you are going to repeat all of these stages. Okay. That is going to be what we are going to do.